everybody. My name is Cameron, and I'm going to be talking about the Las Vegas shooting. And I have kind of a different perspective that I want to bring up. And first of all, I do want to say my heart bleeds with the families of this disaster. And I do believe it's a disaster. I believe that we saw a lot of pain and suffering, but we also saw a lot of greatness in people that stepped up to the plate, pulled other people off of the field, people that went back in after they had already gotten others out to safety, and then brought more people back to safety, people that rode into the back of vehicles, whether stolen or not, and got them to the hospital. Those people deserve high praise, love, affection. Thank you very much for everything you've done. I was not able to look at any footage or read anything for a good 2 days afterwards because I suffer with PTSD, and I knew that that would affect me very hard. Not to say that my upset or not upset is a good excuse, okay? But when I did it, I wanted to review that information objectively, not to say that the shooter has any excuse, or shooters, whichever you believe. I'm not going to get into that. So this is where my take on this is different than a lot of other takes out there. And I think that there's a lot of information that's coming out. We're going to hear all about the shooter, his family, everything that's happened in his entire life. We're going to hear about his girlfriend, what she knew, what she didn't know. There's going to be theories, there's going to be things that we are going to be explained, and then there's going to be things that we are not explained, and I'm okay with that, because the things that are not explained to us or given, we aren't given that information. Maybe that's to stop somebody else from doing the same thing, okay? So I'm not going to say that they're right or wrong. Putting out all of the information is important to groups, but I don't think right now is the time. What I'm going to talk to you about, though, today is a thing called The Gift of Fear. It's a book I read way back. I guess it was originally published in '97. The author of it is Gavin Becker. I'm actually looking. I read this when my kids were little, and it was just a very interesting thing on why we are so enchanted with anything that is related. I'm so sorry. I'm holding my phone in my hand, and I wish I wasn't. I wish I could have found a way to hold it without it being in my hand. So if I adjust, I'm sorry. Okay? So The Gift of Fear is basically, he talks about how when you drive past an accident, you slow down, you rubberneck. Why do we do these things? Why do we watch all the news articles? Why do we invest our time and energy in finding out exactly all of this? You know, are we just gore seekers or what? But in the book, he explains that one of the things that we do is that we discern what we would do in that situation. How did that accident happen? How did this shooter happen? How did it take, on some of these videos, up to 3 rounds of fire? Okay, 3 rounds. I was counting them before people started moving out of the stadium. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. Jason Aldean was pulled off the stage. Okay, this is me a little bit finger pointing, and I'm sorry, but Jason Aldean was pulled off of the stage. Why didn't he, while he had the mic in his hand, just say, move, 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 people. This is a shooter. This is an active situation. We need to evacuate. Before he left the stage, it would have taken him 10 seconds to say that, okay? That may have saved some lives. That may have saved some people being shot. Maybe it's something that will happen in the future. I don't know. But it took 3 rounds, and even more for people that were further back, for them to believe that this was really an active shooter. What they thought they were seeing was fireworks. Because because we are lucky in this country to have not experienced, like, I've never been in an active shooter situation. Never in my life have I been in an active shooter situation. I'm not in the military. I've never been any place where there's a bunch of gunfire, okay, other than like the shooting range, but you go there specifically to shoot at targets. So I don't know that I would have taken the first round, but I think the second round would have definitely done it for me. I don't like fireworks. I don't like that kind of stuff, so I would have been definitely checking out my situation. But the gift of fear teaches us to look at these things critically, okay? Look at objections critically, and then to form a plan in our brain, okay? And this plan is, what if that was me and I was sitting here in this environment? What would I do that was different, that may have saved myself or some of my, some of the people around me's life? And I can't bring those people back. I can't. But what we can do is become aware. We've got mass shootings. I'm not talking about gun control right now. We've got mass shootings. We've got bombings. We've got airplanes being driven into buildings. We've got subways being blown up in other countries. We've got cars driving onto busy roads. And what would you do in those situations? What would you do to survive or to pull somebody aside? What I'm suggesting that we do is that we become aware of our surroundings. Not to stop going, but become aware of our surroundings. Okay, I'm sitting in this seat. This is what I do because of my PTSD. I'm sitting in this seat. When I leave the stadium, I can either go this way, or I can go down and out through another door. Okay, this is my brain. That's how my brain works. If I see everybody running up, I may run down and out. Okay, because depending upon where the information is happening, I may have to go against the grain to get to an easier exit. And that's what I'm suggesting that everybody does. Take a look at where you're going from here on out and not stop going. And don't hyper do it, but take a look at who's sitting behind you. And this probably came from both my grandpa and my dad. My grandpa was in World War II. My dad was in Vietnam. And they're much better at it than I am. But they were like, look around. Look around you. See what cars are driving by you. What kind of car is that? What color car is that? How many car lengths ahead is it of you? Look behind you. Check your rear view mirror. Know who's around you. Is there a lot of trucks? Are they trucks that could surround you? Be aware of your surroundings. And so we all do this in a minor way, but we become distracted as people. We're holding our cell phones, we're talking on our cell phones, we're playing games, we're texting our best friend, whatever, and we're not aware of our surroundings. When we get to a venue, what's the first thing that you do? Do you pull out your phone and take a selfie and post it on Instagram and so you got to get the filters right? Do you post it on your Facebook and, oh my God, I'm with everybody? Or do you take a moment and, like what you do when you get into an airplane, is they sit you down, they strap you in, and they say, hey, look this is how to put on your seatbelt. Hey, here's the 3 exits that are on this plane. This is how you would get in here, and this is how you would get out. The people that are on the exits are on the seats with the exits. Please take a look at this thing to make sure you can do this. If not, let's move you. Because those people that are on the wings aren't supposed to be the first ones down. They're supposed to be actually the last ones out of the plane. You have to move the door in, put it down, get the chute out, get everybody else that you can down, help them down, and then you jump, okay? So my question is are you by a door? Can you hold that door open? Can you check to see if that door does open? Just be aware. Be aware of what's going on around you so that you can effectively help each other out. When we go places, my family, we go places, we're like, if we ever become separated, this is where we're going to meet, okay? Because a lot of people lost their cell phones. They lost their wallets. They lost all of their identification. And who blames them, right? They were just getting shots at. So they dropped everything. They grabbed their people. They ran. If you're running and you see somebody on the ground, try. Obviously, it's very hard. You've got all those emotions going. To say, hey, look it. Can I pick that person up? Can I pick them up? Can I get them running, and get them moving in the correct direction so that they're not trampled? Or can I at least stand aside long enough in the way of the people that are trampling so that they have a chance to get up? Yes, does it mean that you're going to put yourself in a position for 30 seconds? Yes, you probably will. But to that person that's on the ground, it means the world. And so you have to find out what your medium is. Fight or flight's going to come in as soon as that event happens. It's going to be quick. You're not going to be able to think about it. So if that flight or flight comes in and you're thinking about flight, you need to know the path you're going to take, how you're going to get there, and hopefully you'll be able to do a little bit of, getting people to stand up. I can't pick anybody up anymore. I don't have the strength. But, getting people up. Again, I really suggest anybody that's going through any trauma right now, anybody that's been watching these, instead of just watching them that way, be critical of how you're watching them. Look at the book, The Gift of Fear by Gavin Becker. Read that book. See how that changes your perception of what you're seeing on the screen. Okay, not to say that it's going to change how hurt your heart is, because it hurts my heart every time I watch anything anybody has to say about it. I'm very affected by it. But look at it with a critical view of, how do I get out of this situation? How do I get my family out of this situation? How do I make sure that they're there safely? My daughters and I talk about this all the time. Hey, I would grab the baby. The baby would go on my back. Hey, I would grab this one. I would pull, I would hold her hand really tight. We would go this way out the exit. With my granddaughter is 6, and I say, okay, well, what we're going to do is, you're going to meet at this place, and we make it something huge, something big, and something she can see visually. And just think about it that way. I wish I had a better answer. I can't say gun control is the answer. I can't say that not gun control is the answer. I can't say that, because I do know that people are running around with trucks, filling them up with gasoline, blowing up buildings. They're filling them up with fertilizer, or flying planes into buildings. So there's so many things that we have to be mindful of when we're living. But that doesn't mean that we stop living. Keep living, keep breathing, keep doing good. When you see somebody out there, do a good deed. If it's holding the door open for somebody, hold the door open. If it's moving carts back in when you see that there's no carts, move the carts back in. Take 2 instead of just 1 if you can, so somebody else can have a cart if you see that the carts are busy. Do something for your neighbor that's elderly. Do something for your neighbor that has 5 kids. Cook a meal. If you cook a meal, bring them extra. Do something nice for people that are around you. It'll spread, I promise. I promise the good will spread. Okay, thank you so much. And, you can like and comment down below. I'm putting this on YouTube. I'm going to share it on Facebook, but like and comment these. Let me know what you think, if you think I should keep doing this, or if not. But again, my name is Cameron. Witchy Ursula is my my YouTube channel. So thank you so much, and have a great day.